Hello everyone and hello Mr. Willie. My name is Zeki Fatima Azahra and today I am going to present an argumentative paragraph analysis based on the article I selected from the SIELE journal. The article I selected is titled Linguistics, Relationship and Dialect, a Variation of Banten Javanese and Sundanese in Indonesia, written by Das Erwin Juansa, Ahmad Behaki, Odian Rosidin, and Erwin Salpahariansi, and published in 2025. I selected this article because I'm interested in local languages and how languages can be historically related to each other. And this article investigates the linguistic relationships between Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese, two local languages widely spoken in Banten province in Indonesia. The study aims to answer three main questions. First, how closely related are Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese? The second one is when did these two languages spread from their common proto-language? And the third, the last one, is what dialect variation occurred between them? And this article will be answer this question. The researchers used a lexical, statistical, and glottochronological approach that examines similarities in vocabulary and pronunciation. Through this research, they attempted to uncover the historical relationship between the two languages and explain how geographical factors influence dialect variation. And I will the article overview. Before discussion, the argumentative paragraph, I would like to barely explain the article. The researchers collected data from 16 native speakers. 8 speakers are native speakers of Banten Javanese from Serang Regency, while 8 others were native speakers of Banten Sundanese from Pandeglang and Lebak Regencies. To collect data, the researchers used observation, semi-structured interviews, and documentation based on 200 word Swedish list. The Swedish list is a collection of basic vocabulary items that are commonly used in historical linguistics to compare languages and identify language concepts. After collecting the data, the researchers analyze similarities between words in both languages. They examine identical vocabulary items, phonological similarities, and dialectical differences. They also calculated the estimated time when the two languages spread from their common ancestor language. The results show that Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese share many similarities despite being considered different language today. Okay, I will, based on my active reading of this study, I collaborate with Gemini to generate a strong argumentative paragraph. So my text is: the finding of Juansa et al. 2025 strongly suggests the Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese should be recognized as closely related language rather than entirely spread linguistic system. This argument is supported by studies identification of 5 to 1 word pairs that exhibit lexical and phonological similarities, and demonstrating a significant degree of linguistic kinship between the two languages. Furthermore, the researchers estimate that both languages diverged from a common proto-language between 100 to 1071 and 3011 coincidental resemblance, providing historical evidence of their shared origin. Although some may argue that the current differences between Banten Javanese and Sundanese indicate independent linguistic development, the consistent similarity in their both language is a core vocabulary and phonemic pattern reveal a deeper historical connection. The similarities are too systematic to be dismissed as coincidence, and therefore, preserving and studying both languages is central because doing so not only protects Indonesian linguistic heritage but also enhance our understanding of how language evolve and diversity over time. Now, that's my argumentative paragraph that I make it. Now let us break down the structural scaffolding of this paragraph. An argumentative paragraph is different from a summary paragraph. A summary paragraph reports information, while an argumentative paragraph uses information strategically to convince readers of a particular position. The first component is the main claim. The main claim appears in the first sentence. The paragraph argues that Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese should not be considered entirely separate linguistic system, but should be viewed as closely related language. This statement, I think, is very important because it expresses a position that can be debated. Some readers may agree, while others may disagree. Therefore, it functions as the thesis of the paragraph. The second component is weaponized evidence. The paragraph supports its claim by presenting evidence from the study. It states that researchers found 51 pairs of words with lexical or phonological similarities. This evidence is not simply presented as information, instead it is used to strengthen the claim that two languages are historically related. And the paragraph then it's another piece of evidence. It is a claim that glottochronological analysis estimates the separation time between the two languages to be between this one 1171 and 311 BC. This historical evidence provides a stronger foundation for the argument because it suggests a common linguistic origin. And the third argument is counter-argument and refutation. An effective argument should acknowledge alternative viewpoints. In this paragraph, the writer recognized that some people might believe the two languages develop independently because they appear different today. However, the writer immediately refuted this idea by highlighting consistent phonemic correspondence and shared core vocabulary. This rebuttal strengthens the argument because it demonstrates critical thinking and addresses a possible objection. And the fourth component is the resolution. The final sentence profit by resoluting by emphasizing the importance of preserving and studying this local language. The paragraph moved beyond simply discussing linguistic relationship and highlight the practical significance of the findings. The conclusion leaves readers with a clear understanding of why the issue matters. Okay, I would also like to explain why the findings of this study are significant. The researchers discovered 51 similar word pairs between Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese. The similarities include both identical vocabulary and phonological similarity. The study also estimates that two languages spread from a common Proto language 2,000 of years ago. This findings support the idea that language changes gradually over long periods of time. Another important finding concerns dialect variation. The researchers conclude the geographical location plays a major role in shaping dialect differences. And also, Banten is mainly spoken in Serang and Cilegon, while Banten Sundanese is primarily spoken in Pandeglang and Lebak. Because communities live in different regions, their language varieties gradually develop unique characteristics. This finding demonstrates that language is not only a communication tool, but also an important marker of cultural identity and regional history. Okay, I will be on a structural framework. This paragraph is persuasive because of its strategic use of meta-discourse. Meta-discourse refer to language that helps writer organize idea and interact with readers. First, let us examine interactive meta discourse. The first example is press. More importantly, More importantly, this prose functions as a transition maker. It signals that the next piece of information is especially important and guides a reader toward a stronger argument. And the second example is to therefore. Therefore, this one. Yeah. This is another transition marker that signals the conclusion of the argument. It helps reader understand that the reader is moving from evidence to final judgment. Now let us examine interactional meta-discourse. The first example is strongly suggests. This one. Yeah, this prose function as booster. It expresses confidence and certainty in the argument. By using this press, the writer shows a strong commitment to the claim. And the second example is some might argue. Some might argue. Yeah. This prose function as a hitch and enjoyment marker. It acknowledges that alternative viewpoints exist and invites reader to consider them. Instead of ignoring opposing opinions, the writer addresses them directly. The strategy requires the credibility and persuasiveness of the argument. Overall, these meta-discourse markers help create a readers through the text while also establishing the reader's position and relationship with the audience. Okay, in conclusion, this article provides strong evidence that Banten Javanese and Banten Sundanese share a significant historical relationship. The study found lexical and phonological similarities and estimated a common linguistic origin and demonstrated the influence of geographical factors on dialect variation. Through my collaboration with Gemini, I learned how an argumentative paragraph is constructed using a clear claim, evidence, content argument, and translation. I also learned how interactive and interactional meta-discourse markers make academic arguments more persuasive and readers friendly. The assignment helped me understand not only the content of the research article but also the techniques used to build effective academic argument. Yes, that concludes my analysis presentation. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye bye.